here today in the place they call Tursalloch Bog. It's just outside Tralee in the county of Kerry in Ireland. And many people who haven't seen a bog or haven't been in a bog might ask, what exactly is a bog? Well, that in actual fact is for me a hard question to answer, because bogs in Ireland go back hundreds and millions of years. That's why in actual fact they're trying to stop people cutting bogs now to preserve our ecology, because the bogs make up a part of our ecology in Ireland, a very important part. There are two schools of thought in the idea of cutting bogs, and of course there are the ecologists who want to preserve the bogs, what they call a raised bog. I'm not exactly too sure what a raised bog is. The bog I'm standing on now, they're still cutting peat turf, which they use in the fires in Ireland, and I came here with my father 60 years ago cutting turf in this very bog, and I'm here today not to cut but to draw in some turf for a neighbour. And just to give you an idea of when the turf is cut out of the ground, it's now done by machine. Before it was done by hand. It's stacked in little heaps like this, and as you see on the ground here, to dry, and it allows the wind to blow through it. And of course, since the lockdown started in Ireland, the conditions are ideal for drying turf. Nowadays, of course, at one time it was drawn in a hand car. That would be something like a garden wheelbarrow with handles, no wheel but handles on both ends, and it would be put in the car, and it would be walked out like stretcher-like out onto the road, where it would be put up into horse cars or donkeys in some parts of the country. In island places it would be put into a basket hanging on the side of a donkey, and it would be drawn home, put in the shade to keep firing for the winter. And this bog, there are very few people cutting, and then of course nowadays it's put into plastic bags. The bags above, some of the bags are the residue of dog food. I see some of the bags this morning with names on them, Pedro dog food. The person that I'm bringing the turf gathered the turf and put it into the bags. I'm putting it into my car, and I'm going to take it home, 30 or 40 bags at a time. It's impossible to explain exactly what a sod of turf, that's what we call the cut pieces that we put into our fire. But just to give you perspective on the sod of turf, I have one here lying next to my glove, and I'll just turn it sideways so that you can get an idea of what a sod of turf looks like in its cut state, ready for the fire, just the size of my glove. Some are bigger, some are smaller. This bog is full of bog cotton, like flax, much like you'd have in the cotton fields in the United States of America all those years ago. Still, I suppose they still pick cotton in certain parts of the world. This cotton is and for me this morning, it brings me back to my childhood and the story by Jonathan Swift, written in the 1600s, of the Gulliver's Travels, when he landed on the land of the island occupied by the giants, people that were 60 feet tall. And that's what it looks like here for me today. It looks like I've landed on an island with people. I'm surrounded by an army of people with big arms flaying in the wind. And if nothing else, by this video today, I would encourage children especially to read the old Jonathan Swift story of Gulliver's Travels. And of course he landed in the island of the giants, and he was fearful because everything was in proportion to the people. The rivers, the mountains were hundreds of times taller than he was. He was fearful. The islands were set in the Indian Ocean. The second island was occupied by the Lilliputians. And what reminds me of the Lilliputians here today are the rows of tuff. They're like small little people gathered around me. And of course then the tables had turned for Gulliver. He was the giant amongst these. I wasn't a great reader, and I had to, even though I knew the stories of Gulliver's Travels, I had to ring a friend of mine in Tralee, John Harris, who just checked out the facts of the Gulliver Travels story for me. I knew that the little people were called Lilliputians, but I didn't know in relation to the giants. There they are. I'm surrounded by giants. I did say that the story of Gulliver's Travels was set in the 1600s, and actually, in fact, it's set in the 1700s. It was written by Jonathan Swift, 1726. This is what he imagined when he put Gulliver on the island of the giants. Could he foresee what I'd be surrounded by in this remote bog in South Kerry in Ireland? The southern tip of Ireland. Not quite, but very close. Mountain bogs, of course, are set usually high in mountains. They're wet, soggy land, fit for no other purpose other than this modern day phenomenon, the windmill, producing electricity for the nearby town. Millions of years of ecology under our feet. And that's where I leave the Gulliver Travels story. Standing here, I'm reminded of another story, another great literary story. The story of Don Quixote. Written in English in 1620. And the story tells of a Spanish nobleman who imagined that there was a war to be waged against giants in far-off lands. And he travelled with his servant Sancho Panza, and he travelled to find these imaginary giants, imaginary enemy in other parts of Spain. And what did he wage war on? He saw them as I see them today, and as Jonathan Swift saw in 1726, he saw them, the windmills, as giants, and he jousted with them, with his faithful servant by his side, not mocking him, but supporting him. Anybody should have a Sancho Panza as a friend. Everybody needs somebody to mind their back. As we leave this lonely place on this morning, we have landed ourselves in the pages of two great novels by two great writers. I'm sure the cotton will blow in the wind here for another million years. The sound of the windmills chopping through the air, like the sound of the waves crashing on a beach.